following is an exclusive presentation of Ravens Productions.
Coming up on this week's Ravens Report, we take a look at J.K. Dobbins' 2-touchdown game with Brian Billick. Morgan Moses is mic'd up for Ravens Wired. Plus, we sit down with linebacker Josh Bynes and head coach John Harbaugh to preview the Ravens' first AFC North matchup. All that and more on this week's Ravens Report.
He's a 15-10-5 touchdown. They are dancing in the aisles. Oh, what a scene we have at M&T.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Ravens Report, presented by MedStar Health. I'm Evan Washburn. So week 4 was another tough loss at home for the Ravens, and it was an all too familiar feeling where a 3-score lead was not enough to get a win over the Bills. But it's still early, and the Ravens sit tied atop the AFC North standings with a huge opportunity on Sunday night as they host the Cincinnati Bengals. And to get a win on Sunday, they'll have to build on some of the positives from last week's loss, including the continued emergence of J.K. Dobbins, who had 2 touchdowns in just his second game back from injury. And for more on the Ravens' rushing attack, here's Brian Billick with this week's Billick's Breakdown.
In the 23-20 loss to the Bills, the Ravens had their template game plan that they'd love to do every week. They had over 160 yards rushing, better than 38 minutes time of possession, along with Lamar's 70-plus yards. They had Hill and Dobbins chip in as well for better than 86 yards. And they did it on a very straightforward downhill running attack. We're going to look at some clips. The plan seemed to be to go right at the Buffalo Bills. This first play you're going to see, this is a typical counter play. I love this formation with Ricard as the lead back and Andrews displaced, opening it up, yet it still has to account for the I formation. Really, it stretches the defense and their personnel as to whether they want to play the pass or the run. The offensive line does a great job of washing it down, as you typically do on the counter. 72 Powers and Ricard. Powers pulls, Ricard leads with them, leads up in this counter action. I want you to notice the motion threat that does with this jet sweep, this look of the jet sweep to Duvernay. It really holds the backside that doesn't allow them then to collapse onto the counter. So again, we see this variation all the time, very well executed. Now, in the next play, this is a straight ISO play. And again, we're going to see variations of a theme. Again, the plan being to seem to go right down at the Bills defense. Andrews and Ricard build the left side. Then you're going to see on the left side, Pelele, he blocks out and Andrews folds around. Now, he and Ricard create this super wall, this super wrecking ball that gets downhill. Again, very straightforward, very downhill. Great job by Powers and Linderbaum walling off the interior of the front. Powers actually accounting for the linebacker at the second level. Very straightforward, straight downhill, very well executed. Now, the last drive really was brilliant. Obviously, at the end, it didn't come up the way that everybody wanted. But the 8-minute drive starting on their own 5-yard line, and again, with a number of the same elements in these plays that we've seen already earlier in the clips. First clip, this first play of the drive, really set the tone. Ricard, again, it's a variation. He ends up starting in the tight end alignment, but then he motions into this same displacement of Andrews, this kind of eye alignment. And now you see what amounts to basically a super counter, because you're going to see, again, not many people pull the center. They pulled the center Linderbaum and the backside tackle Moses along with Ricard and create this super counter, this super edge. Hill does a great job of bouncing outside and working to the outside to get the extra yardage. Now, in the next play, again, variation on a theme. This displacement of the 2-by-1, okay, with Andrews displaced to the outside, Ricard building the I formation, getting downhill. They add the little wrinkle. You're going to see Lamar kind of pump to the left and a little, almost like a draw fake. But again, it's just a downhill ISO. Ricard and Andrews do a great job on the second level, plastering up with the second level defenders. Pelele actually gets up into the backside as well, creating this wall down the field that allows the big game down the field, the 12 yards by Hill. You know, the Ravens step back into the division now against the Bengals this week, and the key is going to be putting pressure on Burrow. It's a reverse scale. The less pressure you put on Burrow, the more TDs and production they have. The more pressure, that's when the interceptions and the incompletions come from. So the last 2 weeks, Burrow haven't got a lot of pressure put on him. He's had 5 TDs or almost 600 yards in passing offense. So job one is going to be getting pressure on Joe Burrow.
Coming up next on Ravens Report, we take a look at the Bills game through the lenses of Ravens Wire with offensive lineman Morgan Moses mic'd up.
Brian Billick's Breakdown is powered by Microsoft, the official tablet of the Baltimore Ravens.
Welcome back to Ravens Report from the Under Armour Performance Center. I'm Evan Washburn. While the Ravens missed out on an opportunity for an early season statement win against the Bills, all the goals for this team are still squarely in front of them, including a huge divisional showdown Sunday night against the Bengals. But before we look ahead to that one, let's take a look back on a rainy day in Baltimore with Ravens Wire.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for the birthday wishes. I have learned that life and opportunity to do what you love are priceless. There is no place in the NFL for weak souls. Life is about pouring out all that God has instilled in us to achieve success in our respective destinies. What matters is our belief and perspective about what can be achieved.
M&T Bank Stadium, where it is overcast and misty. The tarp is off the field. This is football-like weather for two towns like Baltimore and Buffalo.
Make something happen today, baby. Let's go, let's go. JK, yeah. Let's go. Yeah! Let's go! Hey, like I said last week, boy. Oh, yeah. You know, all day. Last time I checked, time wait for no man, and lost time ain't found. So you got to take advantage of the opportunity today. You don't get second chances in life, man. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
And the crowd rises to its feet as the defense has the Bills in 3rd down and 9. Ravens rush 5. Allen throws deflected, intercepted. Marlon Humphrey has it at the 30. Weaves his way to the 20. Runs around the left hash mark. He's to the 15. Stumbling, still gains his footing. 10. And he's finally shoved out of bounds at the 7-yard line of the Buffalo Bills.
That's how you set the tone, baby.
On 2nd down, Lamar Jackson takes the snap. Shovel pass goes to Dobbins. Bangs off it. Bills defender and in for the touchdown.
He did the exact same thing last week, but it was Mark Andrews who did the shuffle pass, and this time it's with JK.
Let's ride out right now. Let's go. Let's ride out right now. Right now, let's go. Take over.
So far in the first part of this game, it's comforting to see that the Baltimore Ravens using their size, their girth, against this smaller defensive front for the Buffalo Bills.
Let's go!
Jackson stands 5 yards deep in the backfield. J.K. Dobbins behind him to give us a Dobbins. Running to the left. He's got a crease. He's got a hole. He's got a touchdown, Ravens!
They're definitely taking advantage of their size and their power with the run game. It's a great way to keep the momentum and give your defense some more life.
Great job, O-line. Great job, Lamar. Great job, JK. Yo. Let's go. I love y'all, bro. When did you insert to that guy? Keep blocking, bro. They can't stop us. Keep doing your thing.
Josh Allen is where you start to prepare when you game plan against Buffalo.
They've done a really good job of giving him different looks and making Josh Allen feel uncomfortable in the pocket, but then also not giving him a lot of running lanes so far in this first half.
They give it to Singletary, running between the hash marks, fumbles the ball, and the Ravens recover at the 36-yard line of the Bills. Adafe Owe reached in and snatched the ball free from Devin Singletary, and the Ravens have forced a second turnover in the opening quarter.
Let's go, Martha! That's what I'm talking about, bro! Oh! Yeah, baby! Great job. Hey, great job. Great job, man. Great job.
It was all Ravens in the first half. It's been all Bills in the second half. The Ravens led at 20-10 at halftime. The Bills with 10 third-quarter points. Neither team has scored in the fourth quarter, but the Bills are right there in scoring range. 3 seconds remaining. A 21-yard field goal try for Tyler Bass from the left hash mark. Bass's kick is up, and it is good. The final seconds have come off the clock, and the Buffalo Bills get their first lead of the day on the final play of the day as they hand the Ravens their 5th straight loss at home.
Hey, bro, we just got to get, it's early, bro. It's early. We got a lot of football left.
There was some close
We
ones,
gonna
but
get,
there's only one that got us.
Yeah, it's going to be.
And it sucks. He did a hell of a ball that knocked me back, and that's what caused the space.
It's going to be better, bro. I promise you. I promise you.
That's good.
I promise you we'll grow from this.
Every day presents a different challenge, but with each challenge, there is an opportunity. An opportunity to do something remarkable on our journey through this life if we persist through adversity. Get locked in on greatness and let nothing deter you. The only people that determine our destiny is us.
So obviously not the result the Ravens wanted, but as John Harbaugh said, there's a lot of improvement within that outcome. And the Ravens will look to build on that starting Sunday night against the Bengals. Coming up next on Ravens Report, we sit down with linebacker Josh Bynes to preview the Ravens' first divisional game of the season. Welcome back to this week's edition of Ravens Report, presented by MedStar Health. I'm Evan Washburn. The Ravens defense has shown some flashes through 4 games, especially when it comes to takeaways, where they're tied for the league lead in that department. But the next step for this unit is consistency and finding a way to finish teams off late in games. And one of the guys leading that charge is linebacker Josh Bynes, who over the course of 12 seasons in the NFL knows exactly what it takes. And earlier this week, Josh sat down with our Shelby Granath to discuss it all.
Jones on second down, steps up, fires. It's intercepted at the 43-yard line. The veteran Josh Bynes with the first interception of the day for the Ravens.
Josh, this team is coming off another tough game. What has the defense taken away from the 2 home losses this year?
Really, we're just, trying to fight to stay consistent right now. And that's just the biggest goal going into even this next game with a division opponent. Being consistent and learning to make sure we're finishing no matter what. We've done great, started off well, and we just haven't found that finishing edge in these last 2 home games that we've played. We fell short, and luckily these are things that's early in the season rather than later.
Well, you mentioned it. It's another big test at home this weekend, an AFC North showdown under the lights. So what does the defense need to do to have a bounce-back performance?
Really just take it one play at a time, no matter what's going on out there on the field. Whatever happens. It's football. Those guys get paid on the other side of the ball, too. They're going to make plays. That's the name of the game. We just got to make sure we worry about our side of the ball and do what we're supposed to do, play in and play out. And when adversity happens, we be able to fight back.
A division game in prime time at home. I mean, it really doesn't get much better than that. What's different about a night game at the bank?
It's exciting. The night games at the bank are amazing. It's electric. The lights flash and the crowd. I feel like it's even louder. It's crazy. That's what you love about the bank. It's just reminds you like playing in a college atmosphere where you got 100,000 fans screaming on you and just cheering you on. And that's why we know we have the best fan base in the whole wide world.
2 games in a row now, we've seen Patrick Queen come so close to getting an interception. As a veteran who has 5 interceptions yourself, what do you tell PQ in those moments?
Just don't worry about it. Like I said earlier, we have 13 games left. So it's going to be plenty of opportunities for him to make those plays when we needed most. And of course, we wish we had them too, and I know he does too. But don't be hard on yourself about it, because those opportunities come. But when they do come, they come in bunches and they start to add up. And all of a sudden, they just start to get a roll and sacks, fumbles, and that's going to happen. It's right, like I said, still early in the season, still got a lot of football left to play.
Well, with PQ and with a lot of the other guys, we see you on the sidelines. You're always coaching them up. You're such a leader on this defense. What does that role mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. I love being depended on, love being the guy that everybody leans on for communication, for this, for that. And I love making sure we're all on the same page on the sideline. I need the tablet. I just love being that piece that guys will, like to lean on and talk about different things that happen in the game and stuff.
A fellow member of your rookie class here as a Raven, Jimmy Smith, retired earlier this week. What did Jimmy mean to this defense and this organization?
I didn't think he was going to retire. Like, dude, come back. Come back to year 12. Jimmy is just a great teammate. He's funny and as crazy as all get out, and just brings such a crazy energy. But when he lock in on Sunday, he just plays some of the best football you ever seen, and on a consistent level. And for 11 years in this league, I just can't believe it's been that long now, playing in this game, and got guys in my class retiring and stuff like that. And it's just crazy to see, but Jimmy is just like super amazing. That's a friend for life. That's a guy for life. And he already knows, like, whenever. You can call me whenever. I'd call him. We'll get together, have some dinner, whatever it is. But definitely salute to my guy, Jimmy.
Hey, Josh, we're going to end with some rapid fire this or that questions.
Okay.
Blue cheese or ranch?
Oh, ranch.
Climb a mountain or run a marathon?
I'd rather run a marathon. I'm not climbing no mountain. I don't do heights. No, that's not happening.
Sunday night football or Monday night football?
Sunday night. I prefer Sunday night because Monday cuts it short. No, I prefer Sunday night.
All right, Josh, thank you so much for your time, and good luck on Sunday against the Bengals.
Of course, I appreciate you having me.
And that Ravens D seems to have gotten a little bit deeper with the addition of three-time Pro Bowler Jason Pierre-Paul, who was solid in his first game after joining the team just 5 days prior to kickoff against the Bills. Coming up next on Ravens Report, head coach John Harbaugh previews Sunday's primetime game against Cincinnati.
Ravens Report is brought to you by MedStar Health, the official medical team of the Baltimore Ravens, and you. MedStar Health. It's how we treat people.
Welcome back to this week's edition of Ravens Report from the Under Armour Performance Center. I'm Evan Washburn. Well, after 4 weeks living in the AFC East, the Ravens finally open up divisional play with a visit from the defending AFC North champs, the Cincinnati Bengals, who are going to be well rested, and after a slow start, seem to be back to their 2021 form. And for more on Sunday Night Showdown, here's the head coach with Garrett Downing.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for the time. This week, you're back home in Baltimore against the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know players and coaches often say that divisional matchups often count for two because of the significance. What's the significance of this game in your mind?
Well, it's an early season game, so it's not going to make or break either team's season, but it's a home division game for us. We're excited to play it. You only get 3 of them. You want to win them all if you can, but we're playing the AFC champions from last year, the division champions in the North from last year. Very veteran football team, a team that's got returning starters really at every position on both sides of the ball. Quarterback, obviously the things that he's done, great talent receivers, not to mention the defense, which is great players all over the place and was one of the top defenses in the league this year and playing the same way. So I just feel like this is a big challenge for us.
Marlon Humphrey talked this week about the receiving corps and said that trio is probably the best in the NFL in his mind.
Yeah.
When you have a three-headed monster in that regard, what challenge does that present for a defense?
It just spreads the defense out so much, Garrett. I mean, you can't really focus on anybody. You've got to just play honest and cover everybody, and I think that's the way they build their offense in such a way where he wants to get a look at you, see what you're in, and go to the weakest spot because he's got great players everywhere.
Now, I know the guys are locked in every single week. Certainly, I'm sure that's the case this week. What kind of urgency have you seen in practice?
Yeah, they are locked in every single week, and I see a lot of urgency in practice, and I think they've notched up another notch this week, and we've got to keep notching it up every single week. But for all the reasons in terms of who we're playing, what's at stake, even in the early season, but also we just got to become what we're going to be. What are we capable of becoming? we got to work really hard to get there, and the guys understand that. That's what I appreciate about these guys.
Obviously, it's a Sunday night football game, primetime matchup, and you've won a lot of primetime games over the course of your tenure in Baltimore, 18-2 record. What is it that makes the Bank such a difficult place to play in that type of environment?
Man, I guess you just gotta be in there to understand it. You know, there's a lot of great places, there's a lot of tough places to play in the league, but you know, our place at night is really special. I think our fans obviously is what makes it happen. They're excited to be there. There's no fans like our fans. I mean, it's just electric. But also, I give our stadium ops crew a lot. You know, the stadium, the entertainment is pretty incredible too. I mean, sometimes I'm in there looking around going, wow, this is really
You watch
cool.
the lights go around?
So yeah, you know, when we score, I tend to enjoy it more, you know. So I'm looking forward to it.
And lastly, Coach, Jimmy Smith is going to be the legend of the game this week. He retired officially earlier this week. I know he's someone who, you know, you guys have a long track record together. We're together 11 years. What did you think of his retirement and your relationship with him?
It was great. I mean, I love Jimmy Smith. We had so many moments. We became great friends. I thought his press conference was classic Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, that's
just as
true.
Honest and straightforward as he could possibly be, pure as he could possibly be. That's how he is. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed sitting there and I enjoyed listening to him.
Yeah, it was great. He's going to be a legend of the game. It should be an awesome reception that he gets on Sunday. Coach, thank you so much. Good luck this week.
Thanks.
So now we turn our attention to what will no doubt be an electric atmosphere at M&T Bank Stadium on Sunday night, with Baltimore in prime time for the first time this season. And the challenge will most likely match the atmosphere as Joe Burrow and the Bengals come to Charm City on a 2-game win streak and all the swagger of a Super Bowl run a year ago. Here are a couple keys for this one from my perspective. It's been a theme all season long and will once again on Sunday night be key. Limit the big plays in the passing game. The Bengals possess a three-headed monster of Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. They can wreck a game. And simply, second key, find a way to finish on Sunday night. That'll do it for this week's show. Thanks so much for watching, and be sure to tune in on Sunday night in prime time. And before kickoff, don't miss Ravens pregame live with Shelby Gernath and former Ravens wide receiver Torrey Smith. That show is available on YouTube, Facebook, or BaltimoreRavens.com. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you right back here next week for another edition of Ravens Report.